What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Coach Jim back here with Wida now, as we're going straight into Hearthstone. Unfortunately, you guys are stuck with me for this one, but usually Wida will be doing most of the talking, so you won't have to hear me all that often. Wida, how are you doing today?
I'm doing just fine. I handed in my final exam before my bachelor project yesterday, so I have a lot of time to dedicate to doing stuff like this, casting fantastic Hearthstone play. So I'm looking forward to this. Obviously, I had the pleasure of casting EV Angels semifinals earlier on this week, so looking forward to watching them potentially take the entire title.
Now, I'll be honest, I've done a lot of Hearthstone this year. I have not done EV Angel. I have not done MoJoJoJo, although that's a fun name to say. I wish I had done more casting for them. Looking at the deck list, though, who do you think is going to ban what?
Well, that's a bit of a weird one, right? Because the format in its entirety is kind of up in the air right now, obviously, with the with the set and like standard rotation being 3 weeks old at this point, maybe a little bit more. Obviously, also we have our first open major event starting tomorrow in the Masters 2 Orgrimmar with this format. So again, we don't have a lot of data to go off of. In terms of the decks that are overall the strongest right now, despite recent nerfs, Paladin still seems to be at the top of the standings. Rush Warrior has been a deck that has also risen in prominence since then. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a double Paladin ban come out, and then the players will just play from there on out. Especially when you look at EV Angel's lineup, he did ban away that Paladin last time around in his semifinals. So I expect that to be the same yet again. Again, obviously, the Hunter and the Demon Hunter, they tend to struggle against Paladin because Paladin is extremely effective at keeping board. So that's where I at least expect that to go. And I think, again, when you look at the other side of things, I would expect that to be the case as well, because, again, like, just looking at how the decks perform.
How do you feel about the Warlock deck that might come through?
So, Control Warlock. This is the deck that it always tends to be in the format in some way, shape, or form. Right? We've always known Handlock, we've seen Reno Warlock, all the way throughout Hearthstone's existence. Control Warlock has been a thing. And I've been playing with the Control Warlock on ladder, a list that is somewhat akin to the one that we see from MoJoJoJo. Not exactly the same list, obviously, but and I think the deck definitely has potential. Ticketus for me is the card that completely swings it around. The ability when you corrupt that Ticketus, meaning that you play a card that costs more than Ticketus itself, as I slow down a bit here, and the ability to burn 5 cards from your opponent's deck is massive, right? Because the thing is that you get to again, you're playing for fatigue a lot of the time, so you get to remove cards and get your opponent closer to fatigue, making it easier to control them. But you can also just hit their key cards. I'm looking at this like, if you start taking away your opponent's finishers with Ticketus, they end up just, without options, and that's kind of what you want to do with that Warlock deck.
Now, I'm looking for in the semis. I cast one with Mick, and Control Warlock came out from everybody. And it's just really fun to watch because it's basically all just looking for top deck, looking what you're gonna get, and it just keeps you right on the edge of your seat because everything is about what's coming out of the Warlock's deck. What they have in their hand is good. What's coming out of their deck is better. Yeah,
and the thing is that MoJoJoJo has opted into playing the Envoy of Rostwix, which to me is a card that I, generally speaking, prefer not to play. I think it bloats your deck for no apparent reason. But again, I have seen players really take a liking to Envoy Rustwix before. It's a fun card, obviously. Getting all those extra primes in there is fantastic. But it's a bit of an inconsistent card, I would say, right? Again, if you're looking for a specific spell in your deck, for example, right? We're talking about this like you are going to be in top deck scenario a lot of the time. And you top deck a prime that isn't necessarily perfect what you want to be doing right there in that specific given moment. It's not the best to go for, right? I'm also looking at this, and Dead Hands Cultist. I don't even know what that card does. I'm not even joking. Like, I have played like 200 games of Hearthstone up the new sets, and this is the first time that I actually see the card name Death's Head Cultist.
Don't look at me, man.
No, man.
Mr. Producer, are the players ready? Are we going to get this band game going? All right, so we're going to keep vamping here between me and Widow. We're having a server issue. You know, Activision Blizzard, small independent company, they have some server issues. You know, and it's the kind of company, a small independent company like Activision Blizzard, like Riot Games. You know, we really need to buy the skins, to put some money into these small independent companies just to make sure these great independent games keep coming out. And if you don't recognize that I'm joking about the two biggest esports companies in the world, then why are you here watching esports? I don't think that joke landed with Widow. Widow looked a little confused there.
No, I completely get what you're saying, but just to wrap around with Death's Head Cultist, right? I actually do know what the card does. I just did not know the card name.
Okay.
Right? So if you said to me it's the 3-mana 2/4 taunt guy, I would have known exactly what it is.
It's
But
the free man.
you'd be surprised about how many people at the higher levels of like Hearthstone in general that just don't know card names for obscure cards, but know exactly what they do. Like people, you'll be talking with someone, and they'll be deliberating perfectly well, and then be like, "That's how you're gonna do the That's how you're gonna be using, 5-mana, 5 for deal 1 guy." Like, they'll just pull out the description of what the card does because they forget the card name. And again, right, it's worth noting, there are like 500 cards in Standard at any given moment in time, probably more, right? Because like each set counts like 139 cards. So there's a lot of cards to remember. So like, it's totally normal to completely blank on a card if it's not, commonly played, right? And for me, definitely, I'd argue that Death's Head Cultist is not a card that we see on the regular get played.
You know, I'm starting to laugh here. The other night during Overwatch, we had one of the players in chat from a previous match who he was talking about, oh man, the casters know all the names of the abilities. I don't even know the name of the ability. They're talking about the name of an ability coming out, and I just would have been there like, oh, there's the alt. And so I totally get what you're saying. Like, you know what all the cards do. You just might not know what the picture on the card is. You might not know the name of the card. But, if you play enough of the game, you'll know what every card does. And I think that's something people forget. You don't have to have all of the information. You just have to have the information that matters to you. It sounds like my producer might be writing a book in the background. And so we're still waiting. It looks like EV Angel is the one having the server problem. And I just like to give our producer a hard time. He's a great guy. Caleb Glibby, hardest working guy in show business. If he ever shaved his beard, he'd be doing more work in front of the camera. But a little bit of a bum looking guy, but he's super, super intelligent, super good at what he does behind the scenes. And like I said, he'd be fighting up the ladies with a stick if he ever shaved that neck beard he's got going on. Looks like EV Angel is back online. Hopefully their server problem has been fixed. Sounds like the novel has stopped being typed behind me. I don't know if that's because Caleb's filling out my pink slip. This is the first of 3 Hearthstone matches this evening. The second one is going to be between Sausagero and Pie Monster. Have you seen either of those players this season?
I have had the honor of covering both of those players I feel like I've at least cast both of them twice throughout the season, obviously. It's worth noting that in the NECC, we do operate with a 3-tiered system. So what we're going to be starting off with today is we're going to be starting off with the Emergence Division, which is the lowest tier of play within the system. But again, still some good Hearthstone to be watched here. Then we're going to be going over to the Challengers Division, which is again just the game you just talked about, right? With Sausagero and Pie Monster. And then we're going to be closing out the Hearthstone part of the night with the Champions Division's finals. So
the Champions Division final, by the way, will be between Knight and King Milo, as the favorite got taken out in the quarterfinals. Paper Ninja got taken out by Aiden. Aiden then lost in the semis. So the favorite went down very early on the champion side. And it looks like we finally do have the ability to observe here for the ban match. So we're going to jump in and see who is banning what here between MoJoJoJo and EV Angel.
Yes, so it's worth noting for people that might be used to watching other Hearthstone events that we will be having the players jump in and ban each other's decks. Initially, as I was talking about right down my screen release, right, we have the double Paladin setup. So again, Paladin right now is the best deck in the game. I think it's the most straightforward to play a lot of the time as well, which comes with an innate value in terms of what it brings to a lineup. It's very straightforward in how you want to play it out. It has very specific power breakpoints that are easy for you to play into as a player. So I'm actually excited that the Paladins have been banned, because I casted EV Angel's semi-final, said that, and his opponent did not ban Paladin and paid for it dearly. So again, ban Paladin, because most people build their lineup and don't understand it. You still ban Paladin. Look at Paladin's matchup spread, by the way. Go over to any statistic website, look at Paladin's matchup spread, and then just look at it and be amazed about how insane it is. There's like one bad matchup in there, and that one bad matchup is Rush Warrior. Trust me, it's not worth leaving up Paladin, even if you do have Rush.
You heard it here first, folks. Witta said it. Ban Paladin. Don't think about it. Just ban it. And you made the right call. I asked you earlier what you thought the bans were going to be. You said double Paladin's going to be the ban. So far, Witta 1-for-1 on the day with the predictions. It's going to be a mirror match, though, here for round number 1. Hunter v. Hunter.
Yeah, and I don't know if you could hear that, but you could definitely see it on the camera if I was still on camera. I was rubbing hands because Hunter, for me, is my favorite class in the game. And this Hunter deck, I wouldn't call it Face Hunter because I think that's a very wrong clarification, but I think it's a generalization about the archetype. It's definitely an aggro Hunter. And these mirrors can become very, very, very intense here. And the big thing for me, right, we're starting to look at the cards that can come through. Being unkind, traditionally speaking, is very bad. However, 2-1 is one of the lower impact plays that you can make. Alright, here. Again, Volbatinger again. Very solid, very good. Again, worth noting, looking at it from the hand, EV Angel currently has a Wound Prey and the Adorable Infestation, meaning that they can facilitate trades very, very cleanly on the follow-up here. So, Team Companion gonna come down here. This leaves MoJoJoJo without a turn 2 play, but due to the way the deck has been constructed, it is very likely for him to find that, like, any given card that can be played on the next.
Let's go ahead and talk about the random companion he got, though. 2-2 with Taunt's a really good random companion.
So, if you look, the thing is that, and all these companions, they are, generally speaking, pretty high quality for their cost. You have a 1-mana 2-1 charge, you have a 1-mana 2-2 taunt, or you have the 1-mana 1-2 that gives +1 attack. And generally speaking, when you want to play the companion, you want to do it in a time where it can actually have an active impact on the board, as MoJoJoJo has to pass on turn 2, right? And I was gonna like tie this back into it, because in reality, what did the taunt do right there? Yes, the board's been sort of reset, but the thing is that you're on the coin, you're acting second continuously. And being able to have coined out the man crit on turn 2 here gives you a free fall body. Incredibly hard to deal with for Hunter this early on in the game to start trying to get some sort of board control back. But again, it did not happen here, and now you can look at this, right? Because in reality, yes, now the man crit comes down, but the Cold Card Pack Runner is right there lying in wait to potentially set up some trades should any spell be top decked. So this man crit now is less effective than it could have been had it been coined out. But again, with the way the deck was constructed, right, MoJoJoJo was expecting to get something playable on turn 2, which could have swung the game around.
And that's what it's all about sometimes. We call, top decking like a pro is what me and Mick usually say, making the joke. First, know what you need. Second, make sure it's at the top of your deck. It doesn't always work for some players. Some players need to work on their top decking skills there, Witta.
Yeah, absolutely right. Again, it's kind of it's down to the RNG in that regard. Right, again, obviously, can be controlled with how you construct your deck. Obviously, top decks are never really truly random. Right, like it's within a given scale, right? And again, you can have one copy in there, get 2 copies, all that good nonsense. But looking at this right here, right now, there's actually a chance with that quick shot top deck. That was a little bit of a tongue twister, apparently. That MoJoJoJo now has a way back onto the board, at least with this double interpret initiative that can start taking these trades. However, if this Demon Companion rolls into the either the 2-1 or the 1-2 right there, these trades have become very favorable again for EV Angel. Again, with the Knife Thunder and with the Wolbatinger has another reload that can come down. And again, MoJoJoJo has a Riddling's Rifle. The issue with that is for that to be effective, has to take face damage. Currently already down to 17, right? The Knife Thunder can push that down by 4 again, but down to 13. I wouldn't be surprised here if EV Angel sort of just sat back and was like, you know what? I have a really good chunk of damage right here. Let me just disregard my opponent's board. I'm on 26. I'm hot, chilling here. I'm gonna go face and close out the game. However, EV Angel decides to play for the board more actively with the Wolbatinger here. I would expect the Knife to come down, but again, obviously, there's this thing that's worth noting that the knife ender can always be played, right? It's a guaranteed 4 damage. However, a hero power that they don't use is literally damage lost. So again, like, it's one of those decisions where, like, I can understand both sides of it. Explosive Trap here is going to be huge, right? Because again, these 1/1s are just going to die. And this could be the potential way back into the game for MoJoJoJo. However, has to amount a really big counter threat for that to happen.
Not the best card there for EV Angel. A dormant card in this stage of the game, it might not even come to fruition. So not what they were looking for on the top deck right there.
So definitely not, right? But the thing is that it's guaranteed damage at some point in time, right? But again, obviously.
Oh no, I was talking about the Felmaw.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it's guaranteed damage in 2 turns, right? So
yeah, but if the game doesn't go 2 turns, then the damage
exactly that was going to be
yeah.
my counterpoint was that
yes,
it's not guaranteed to go for 2 more turns. But I do feel that looking at the current state of the board, this is pretty fine, right? And now MoJoJoJo top decks another Felmore, so it's up to us. So that's a little bit of some funny business going on right there. We're going to weapon swing to the face here. Freezing Trap here is huge, right? Because again, if you can guarantee nothing attacking, it's going to nullify the Felmore in its entirety, right? With that Freezing Trap. So again, that's going to completely neglect whatever EV Angel is going on right now, and that Trampling Rhino can effectively trade up against anything that gets.
Yep, very, very much so it can. We could see something explosive here on this next turn. We could definitely see something here. Depends on the draw. Ooh.
Hungry, aren't ya?
Yep, I agree with the Bulbatinga being the play here, right? You want to amount the most amount of threats on the board. So again, EV Angel right here is looking for 2 damage. The thing is, it cannot be Piercing Shot. It cannot be anything that costs more, right? Because again, now gonna get the bad news that Freezing Trap is in fact what's in play. However, now this opens up the Demon Companion to be lethal. Intrepid Initiate is not the card you were hoping to see right now. So now it literally does come down to the 1 in 3 Demon Companion coming out. He hits the charge! It's 1-1 in the grand. It's 1-0 in the grand finals, so should I say that? And again, the patience is going to be rewarded here with the knife ender being held in the hand for so long. And damn, that Freezing Trap almost closed out the game for MoJoJoJo. But again, 1 in 3. We're talking about the quality of the Demon Companions, and you were right. They were going to decide the game number 1.
Every once in a while, but I get one right every once in a while. But no, great job there by EV Angel, hanging on to the dedicated damage, knowing that they could use it to end the game and doing exactly that.
Yeah, again, that's huge, right? Because now the Hunter's out of the way, right? The series can no longer come down to a mirror matchup. Now there's exclusively unique classes across the board due to how the lineups have been constructed. And this matchup I'm actually not too sure about. The mid-range Demon Hunter going into the Aggro Hunter, and the thing is that at least for me, for my department, right, is the fact that you have for the Demon Hunter, you have access to those Eldrazi Warblades, as you can see both of them in hand currently for EV Angel before Mulligan has been completed. And those have, pretty big presence, right? Because you're able to heal some of the damage away that the Hunters continues to put out. But if you don't attest the board, you're just gonna, you can just heal. But the thing is that if the board doesn't get dealt with, the board's just gonna, do the damage right back. So again, interesting to see right now where this game is gonna go. Infestation Keep to me is always iffy, especially when you're on the play, because the thing is that if you don't find a 1-drop to play out in turn 1 as this Aggro Hunter, Infestation becomes sort of useless, right? Because you're keeping that for a turn 2 play type of deal, and
it's not as good on turn 2.
It's fine on turn 2, right? It's just that you need to have something to hit on the board for it to be effective.
Absolutely.
Okay. I must admit that I didn't completely take full notes of EV Angel's mulligan, but did he really keep Relentless Pursuit, Bladed Lady, and another Eldrazi Warblade? It was just really unlucky in the mulligan, because the thing is that with those specific things, right, again, you need to have the ability to to actively use them right. Ready Pursuit for 3 mana is fine, but the thing is that it's a lot of things to consider here, right? But a double infestation gonna come out here, gonna do fine. And it's like probably the strongest setup, right? Because the thing is that how does EV Angel deal with this, right? Can Condia Draggy Warblade to take out the Shima on board currently, but he's still gonna tank 4 from this Triple Initiate on the follow-up. And again, still opens himself up to even more pressure. And the thing is that EV Angel would really have liked to be able to push this Bladed Lady out with the Relentless Pursuit on the follow-up right now. And I think that it's simply just too greedy to hold back with the Pursuit right now and not kill the Fall Free, because the Fall Free here is probably the most important. However, how greedy do you want to get? Because you could actually go for Mana Feeder Panthera here with the hero power, but decides against that, just wants to gain as much HP as possible. So again, goes back up here to 25. That's a significant chunk being pushed away, but Warsong Regular here can set up a perfect turn 5 with the Trembling Rhino being buffed up to a 7-5, right? I believe that's 7-6. Not really too sure on choosing Wolpertinger, because Trembling Rhino in of itself, I think, is just the higher quality of the two, but I like that at least there's being, like, MoJoJoJo takes some time to consider the consequences of potentially going for the Wolpertinger instead, at least, right? Because again, you have to at least sit back and think about what the consequences of your actions are, whether they're good or bad. A Tempo Star Student Selena. Okay, that's somewhat grim, right? But because the thing is as well, now by just presenting a singular minion, this Trembling Rhino right here, right now. Hello? Color me confused. There might be some math that I haven't done. Knife Ender next turn, that's 4, pushes EV Angels 9. You have 4 more on board, goes to 5. Hero Power puts you to 3, so it doesn't change the lethal clock. And I guess you can use the Trembling Rhino on the follow-up to guarantee more damage. I guess that's the reasoning right there. Again, obviously, we know the hand, so again, that will help out with the way that we think about the game for sure. But this is not exactly lethal, however, but it's gonna front load that arcane shots. And again, wanna drag a Warblade down already? War Guys of Asinov, it's not very good when you only have those 3 HP to work with. And MoJoJoJo, it just shows just how effective this hunter can be. And I guess that the hunter is apparently favored in the matchup because you're just able to get in below the demon hunter when they brick out an early opener like that. So interesting for sure, as EV Angel is just slowly but surely looking into the death of this demon hunter, as the series will be tied up 1-1 right now. So both hunters coming out blazing right now, and this now means that Hunter is no longer going to be played for the rest of the series. Here, both players now having one with their hunters. Again, this is Conquest we are playing tonight, so once you win with a deck, you're no longer allowed to play that for the rest of the series. So this now leaves MoJoJoJo with probably like a matchup that is... Oh, this is a rough one actually. Demon Hunter versus Rush Warrior. That's a fun one. Again, I would expect that to be Warrior favored, because again, I feel like you just put enough. Like, I think you just put too many things on board for it to be effective for the demon to deal with. But again, traditionally speaking, Warrior has been fairly effective against Demon Hunter. It throws away Double Warmaul Challenger. Would like to see at least one kept. But again, gets Crab Rider, gets Watley, gets Stage Dive. So again, a lot of really effective things to go off of. But again, the hand right here for EV Angel is actually pretty clean. Fellfire, Deadeye, pretty good card, right? Allows you to get that free hero power routes, and the Challenger comes back, but I would assume that's going to be Coin Crab Rider out there right now. Very much a fan. It's going to allow MoJoJoJo to potentially be able to contest whatever goes on the board. How will MoJoJoJo choose to act? Oh, this seems just so. I'm a bit confused by this. Not gonna lie. I can understand not wanting to give up your Crab Rider for free. Oh. A little bit too fast. Yeah, you see EV Angel realizing here that they should have hero power before playing out that mana feed of Panthera. Now they will get punished by having one less card in hand here, but MoJoJoJo has one less minion on board, so I don't really know who's the actual winner, who's the actual loser in this position. But however, Warmaul Challenger is always a nuisance to deal with.
Hopefully that blunder there from EV Angel, hopefully it's not something big. Hopefully it's something that is just a fun anecdote to talk about. That's something that hurts them here in this match.
All right, here. So while we just waiting for this, we have a bit of a trivia here coming out. Apparently, EV Angel, I believe, joined the team because they needed a third for another tournament, and he actually never, made an active play for the Hearthstone scene. However, they decided that they asked if he wanted to be in there because he had an MCG background. So, yeah, that's just how it is. No, you'd love to see it, right? Hearthstone bringing everyone together here. So again, I'm still a little bit confused about how the Demon Hunter got to the board this wide. And I feel like we had to track back to turn 2, where instead of developing a bumper car, MoJoJoJo decided that they wanted to play out the stage dive instead of making an active play for the board, which I think is probably the wrong thing to do. I don't think it's gonna cost them too much just due to the cards that are currently in hand. However,
this could be fun now though.
Playmaker plus Bumbacar is one of the main reasons why this deck is as effective as it is, right?
Dirty. I believe the word you're looking for is dirty, Witta.
I mean, it's not really that dirty, is it, though? Like, it's just a lot of... Obviously, it has a lot of applicants with this entirety of the deck. However, talking about dirty, Skull of Gul'dan, my friend. That is probably what I would classify as being a dirty card. I'm not gonna lie.
You're right there.
Because that card, my friends out there, is a very, very strong card, especially when it's outcast. So, decides to go for the Chaos Strike, just to clean up the playmaker here. Obviously, again, you do not want to leave a minion out there that actively produces a lot of power for your opponent. However, now it's time for EV Angel to start counting damage, right? Because again, Warblades of Asinov, your opponent is at 14, not making a play for the board here. He's going to draw out more cards with the Ringmaster Watley. And if damage can be found, from that Ladari's studies, or potentially go for a stealthed Kazakus minion. Slowly but surely, damage could be on the cards here for EV Angel. Because look at the hand. There is that Saudi that got drawn out by the Watley, obviously, but again, if they do not opt to play a taunt doesn't really matter when Warglaives of Asnaf is in play. Oh, you can't Fury this turn. You have to go for something else. Surely.
We're talking about EV Angel's hand. I really like MoJoJoJo's hand. I really like MoJoJoJo's hand. I know it might be a minority opinion here, but I like it. Witta looks like he's so sad that I said that.
No, I'm not sad that you said that, because again, obviously there's a lot of things to do. I'm just more... Where's the rest of the damage going to come from for EV Angel now? Right? Like, you could have... Instead of playing the 6-5, again, you're not under any threat of dying. The only direct damage in the deck are the troublemakers that cannot come onto the board until the next turn. You have so much time here. Just sit back and relax. Taunts doesn't matter for you, friend. So now, again, damage can be found here. Skull Gold down, just rip it from the Eldari studies, I guess, because it's probably your best option right here, right now, to find lethal on this turn. Relentless Pursuit, that is gonna do it. So again, I guess it doesn't really matter in this specific situation. I just did not like where the play on the previous turn was headed overall, because when you can do all of those things on the following turn, right, without having to resort to potential like random elements from Eldari studies, right? Because again, you could just have opened the turn up with going for the Kazakus weekend, which costs 1 because of the initial Skull Gul'dan, gone for either a rush minion or like Divine Shield, something that's hard to remove, and just close the game out on that turn without having to give up all your damage to clean the board.
Then again, Skull Gul'dan, you talked about a dirty card in and of itself. Getting the win there for EV Angel. Hey, and there's the Ticketus we were talking about as we see the Warlock come out from MoJoJoJo. I like the Warlock. I'm hoping it plays well.
Again, Ticketus is going to come out here. Obviously, again, it's a keep in the mulligan phase. However, this is going to be the Spell Power Mage, not the full-on Spell Mage that everyone has kind of grown into, either loving or hating over the course of the current expansion. But the thing is that EV Angel has some weird tech in there that it's like the cards from like the dark place, like the dark library, like the dark library or whatever it's called in Harry Potter West. Like it's the forbidden tech of those arcane luminaries, where it's like I don't really understand the need for them, to be completely honest. But no, they're in there for a reason, and I just do not know the reason. It's one of those things where like I can understand that you do generate a significant chunk of cards throughout the game, and they can have, some value in that regard. However, won't you just be better off by just having the free extra mana to play them instead of having to play a luminary to cost to execute the reduction of that?
Don't look at me. Don't look at me. I would like to say, we've been talking about top decking, and MoJoJoJo top decking the armor vendors, so they had a level 1 play. Really great top deck there. And then getting the strongman as a draw, meaning they already have something to corrupt Ticketus. That means that you'll see Ticketus on turn 8. That's right now a turn 8 Ticketus.
It is right now, and then we see my best friend Death Head Cultist, should I come into the hand here. So Armor Vendor, yes, it's definitely it's a minion to play into to turn 1, obviously. But again, it's not really the key card you're looking for in this matchup, I would say, right? You're looking for something like the Jiraxis, right? You need that finisher to start putting pressure onto the mage. However, I was also talking about, you don't run Lunacy, but
Deck of Lunacy.
Might as well generate it on player. And the thing is that one of the reasons why Deck of Lunacy was so potent in Spell Power Mage in general, right? Is that you have these big, expensive spells that turn into a very concentrated pool of spells. However, the spells in the deck for EV Angel right here, they aren't actually that high quality. Wait, is that a Cycle of Hatred? Okay,
I love how you keep squinting. You guys can't see it. He keeps squinting and looking at the hand like, wait, is that yada 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 yada? And it's like it might be.
I mean, so, like this is what Deck of Lunacy does, right? In general, but this is not the average outcome of Deck of Lunacy with a deck that is as low value in terms of spell mana cost as this iteration of Mage.
It's gonna be interesting, that's for sure. I think MoJoJoJo just cruising along here, with still with 30 health, still with 1 armor sitting there, and getting closer to that Ticketus, getting closer to some of their big card drops. The longer this goes on, that they're sitting above 25 health, the better and better it gets for MoJoJoJo.
I think that the health point is actually a pretty interesting one to raise, right? Because the thing is that there is no longer access to like the likes of double fireball, right, for EV Angel, which is again the primary way that they were going to close out the game. So again, it's one of those things where it's like, I can understand, you know, the need to go for the big flashy play, but Deck of Lunacy is only really like incredibly good in very controlled scenarios, and your deck is not built to be in those controlled scenarios, right? And that's something you have to sit back and consider when you are going to be going for these discover effects, because that might just have been a better card.
You know, Tamsin right there.
Chaos gonna do for you, my friend, right? Like,
I'm just saying, Tamsin on MoJoJoJo side, Tamsin right there with a great play. That card needs to go away. EV Angel needs to get rid of Tamsin right now. Otherwise, we might be able to call this one out, and Devolving Missiles will do it. Because that was going to sit there, and that was going to be a problem for a while.
Tamsin Rome, right? Again, it's a very strong generating tool indeed. However, when you think about what it is that they actually do, like what it actually does, what the shadow spells that the Demon Hunter, but just the Warlock does, right? They
stall,
are.
Baby. You gotta stall. It helps you stall. That's all you need. You're not trying to win. You're just trying to stall, baby. Give me the stall.
Yeah, exactly. That is true, right? But again, it's not like it has an aggressive impact in that regard. But wait, so. Oh, this card is insane, by the way. So something I do not understand, right, is that first of all, I have not looked at the seven mana pool, right? But the fact that the 7 mana spells that EV Angel has generated from this Deck of Lunacy have been absolutely insane. Like, I'm not even gonna. There's no two ways about it. Like, they have just been unbelievably good. Like, you could have generated a flipping flame strike, right?
Hold on, here we go.
Okay, Solarian Prime Burn, that's huge.
Oh yeah!
Janus Burn as well, that's massive.
Oh, massive Ticketus. Massive Ticketus play.
And this is what we're talking about, right? Due to just how Ticketus can completely close down those game plans that the Mage play wants
Spirits. Oh, that's perfect right now.
It is, but obviously again,
perfect.
It's perfect again, right? But the thing is that obviously most of this board will, I expect at least, be traded into this Ace-8. And for me, right, the most important thing to note is that there's currently no Yashirashi the Defiler available for MoJoJoJo. So now if EV Angel can just keep on drawing as many cards as possible, but as they just did with that huge cram session, you know, because like, having a huge cram session is probably pretty...
But remember, drawing cards is what MoJoJoJo wants EV Angel to do.
So,
That's what he wants them to do.
Yes, but the thing is that it's better for EV Angel to draw, let's say, 5 more cards now than having those 5 cards burned, right? Because again, that allows you to make meaningful decisions with set 5 cards. Again, obviously here, School Spirit's going to come down and completely wipe the board as you were talking about. And even MoJoJo is just going to leave nothing to chance here. He's going to play out that Drain Soul as well. And I expect to put a Freefall in play as well. He's going to draw the card. So again, very nice turn. Very nice turn indeed.
The longer this goes, and he has the Alistraza to be able to corrupt that second strongman. The longer this goes, the better MoJoJo's. Too many Joes in there. The better his hand looks. The better it looks, the longer it goes.
So obviously, Jim, you're a bit of a boomer. It's we can't really gloss around the fact, right? You played card games since before I was born, right?
I have, yeah.
So MoJoJoJo, at least in the Danish version of the popular cartoon, The Powerpuff Girls, is the main. He's the big evil. He's the big bad evil guy, right?
It's the monkey, isn't it? MoJoJoJo's the monkey.
Yeah. So like,
I know things, Witta. I know things.
Just think of the monkey every time you're gonna say that name, and then you can never say it incorrectly, right? Just think back to all those fantastic cartoons that you watched as a young adult, in this case, and not as a kid. But and just think about that when you're trying to say MoJoJoJo's name.
8 cards left in deck here for EV Angel. And just more and more and more. And that's a great play there. Envoy Rustwix, great play there for MoJoJoJo. Just anytime you can add extra legendaries to your deck, it's a baller move.
I mean, it definitely is, right? But again, if this goes, when the legendaries go into the deck, right? Granted, MoJoJo, currently speaking, does not have that Yashiraj we've been talking about, right? So again, the game plan that MoJoJo, generally speaking, will be going for, again, is obviously to remove as many cards from the deck as possible, and not having the extra punch of that Yashiraj to regenerate that Ticketus. Again, it's going to be giving more time for EV Angel to come back into the game.
I'd say, I don't know. I've seen the Warlock. They wanted to go to fatigue. That's what they're looking for. They wanted to go to fatigue. So the longer this goes, the better it is. Especially when you've all of a sudden got a Twisted Nether in your hand.
Yeah,
Board advantage? What are you talking about, board advantage? You don't have board advantage.
Interesting enough, decides to not develop the strongman onto the board here. So that to me at least is, sort of weird.
If it's gonna cost 0, he could play it whenever.
Yeah, but again, like, you might as well just mount the counter pressure, right? That, at least that's like where I'm standing, right? Like,
we've seen EV Angel hold on to some cards and use them very good, and it's putting out now. So no harm, no foul. I'm gonna say we've seen some players make some what we thought were questionable calls, and then they've turned out to be the right ones. So I'm not gonna take anything away from anybody yet.
So okay, so let's talk about the underlying circumstances here, right? On the previous turn, the Phoenix here would not have been active, right? The Phoenix is now active, so now we're developing into the Phoenix turn, which, at least in my mind, is probably the incorrect thing to do, right? Because again, when your opponent has access to that extra spell power, it's going to be much, much easier to clean up the board. And now, with no more spells in deck, this generated Apexis Blast is actually going to be doing a good amount of hurt, however.
The healing's gonna come out though. Like, that's the problem. Healing's gonna come out.
Like, the only healing that I see right now, right? The only reliable healing, that is the Alexstrasza. But again, if MoJoJoJo wants
to... Let's be honest, Alexstrasza has a lot of healing, and there's still 5 soul shards in the deck.
Yeah, so let me finish my point. Yeah, obviously, as the taunt also comes down in the play, right? Again, my best friend, Death Set Cultist, that I've not known the name of. I imagine that, here's how I imagine meeting Death Set Cultists right at a party. They go up and they're like, "Yo, Witta, we were best mates back in primary school." And I'm like, "Who are you again?" "Oh, you're that kid that is a 2/4 and heals yourself for 5." Right? Like, that is how my interaction would probably have gone with that Death Set Cultist. Potion Evolution, however, that is a pretty good rip, because that's gonna double Potion Evolution even, so even more shenanigans gonna come out here. And again, there is a lot of burst in the mage, like, whirling at the moment. Another Potion Evolution, just keep generating these, because why not? Okay, Refreshing Spring Water, however, not cool. Not cool at all, not gonna lie. Rune Orb goes to the face, okay. I see you. Take a Lunacy in an empty deck, doesn't do anything. I see yet another one. And we're gonna be seeing another one most likely as well here. So, 1 mana left over. Another Potion Illusion. Obviously, the hand is full at this point. Rune Orb goes to the face. Okay. And like another take of Lunacy. Well, like where's this game going right now? Brain Freeze. Okay. Kills him and doesn't heal. There's no way, dude. This is illegal if this happens. All right, Spring Water. That's not good again. Right, gonna draw cards, but Apexis Blast. Hello. Is that one more spell left in the pool?
Oh, that's. Oh my god. What is going on? What is going on here?
I mean, just look at it. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Oh, and the clear. All right.
Even
Clears.
taps the balls on this man. He taps to try to hit these soul fragments, but now what that's going to do is that the outcome here. And
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Lethal with the Ras. Ras is lethal. Hello.
Oh my god.
What is this game?
That's awesome. That right there is an ending. That right there is an ending.
I don't know what to say.
I don't actually think. Did anyone actually touch a card in the last 5 minutes we were casting there?
I don't know.
I don't think anyone touched the card. I think the game played itself.
All right.
I think Wit is losing his mind over here. The game played itself. Peak Hearthstone declares our producer. The game played itself. What is going on? Up is down, left is right, cats and dogs living together. And Wit is still beside himself, hiding behind his microphone.
All right.
Wit,
So,
I would ask you to describe what we just saw there, but I don't think you know.
I mean, I do know what happened, right? It's just the power of that Solarian Prime. Just straight up, right? Again. So it's worth
The
noting
power of
that,
5 of them. The power
Yeah.
of 5 Solarian Prime.
and that's a very important thing to think about, right? Because the thing is that with the pool being smaller now, obviously, due to everything going on, it's a lot more likely that you find these things, right? And also, I do believe that EV Angel won the championship with that game.
Oh yeah, no, that's why I'm over here going. That's Wit had just realized what the rest of us have known for a couple of minutes here. That's how it ended. That's how Emergence Division ends, right there, with a 5 Solarian Prime drop, 25 free mage spells, almost fatiguing out of full health and armor, and then hitting the exact lethal at end of turn with end of turn ability. Prime Hearthstone right there. That's all you ever want to see. There.
Quite literally prime Hearthstone.
That's
Because
the joke,
it was
but yeah, that's the joke.
Solarian
Yeah.
Prime gonna come out here, but obviously.
Oh my god.
So let's explain. Let's just do a single turn analysis of this, right? So the thing is that with how the mage pool has been constructed after rotation and core set coming into the game, means that obviously there are fewer spells because we have 2 less sets to play with at the moment compared to, before rotation. These types of scenarios are a lot more common to happen because, again, there are fewer spells to hit, right? And again, we just saw a continuous chain of Potions Evolution. And again, I don't think I've ever seen a chain that ridiculous. But again, what a way. What a way to close out the season of Emergence Division.
Let's talk about something else here. If it wasn't for all those primes hitting the board because they've all got the spell damage boost, then the Apexis Blast isn't as good when it comes out. That last Apexis Blast hit for 9. It hit for 9! Are you kidding me?
It's just like a perfect storm, right? Of like just everything that's wrong. I want to say everything that's wrong with Hearthstone because it's not wrong, right? Because the thing is that this is just the way that's just how that's how Mage can do, right? Because it just looked like that they were out of the game in its entirety, and then Alakazam, boom, right? That's the.
That's Pokemon, not Hearthstone. There, would
I mean,
Mr. Producer,
isn't Alakazam just like a magician word? Like
just let me have my joke.
And then they come out of like a block set.
Just let me have the joke. When I'm an old man, I only know so many. Mr. Producer, are we going to have the interview here with our winner, EV Angel? Fair enough. We're going to go to a quick ad break. We'll be right back with the interview with our winner, EV Angel, right after this.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch it.
And we're back here. We're still going to be getting that interview with Evie Angel. At the moment, my co-caster Witta going back, looking at the delayed stream. He wants to see it again. He still is in shock over here at what he witnessed. As we're watching it go through again here, Witta, is there anything that catches you on the second time around?
I mean, just the absurdity of it all, right? Like, that is, I mean, that's the thing, right? Because the thing is that, like, if the board had been cleared at any point in that cycle of four things, right? Like, there would have potentially been things that could happen and stuff. But like, it's just ridiculous, and it's like, it's one of the most stupid turns of Hearthstone that I've ever seen, in the best sense possible, right? Like, it's just remember, like, if there was one more card drawn in that entire sequence, he just dies due to the he just dies due to the rigged fair game, the trigger, right, drawing him 3 cards, right? Like, there was
if MoJoJoJo actually hits a soul fragment and heals 2 more health?
Game would have still been over. Because
he had exactly lethal on the final turn. That was end of turn. It was end of turn ability that did lethal.
Yeah, so the thing is that, right? On a normal circumstances, right? Raz Phosphorus only does 1 damage, but the scales for spell damage. And Raz had the Aegwyn's Blessing, which is something we didn't even get to talk about because Aegwyn is normally like the big part of it, right? It did a +3 spell damage, I do believe, as we can see. I'm just gonna.
I'm thinking it only would.
Wait, no,
it only did 1. It was exactly lethal. If MoJoJoJo had drawn a soul fragment, MoJoJoJo would have won that game.
Yeah, right.
And he had 6. He had 6 in the deck.
I think it might have been 8. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, there was so many in there, right? And
oh my god.
It's so the thing is that obviously we're spectating within our own clients, and I was hovering over. I might have hovered a different minion that would have had the Aegwyn's Blessing, so I was confused for a second. But again, I do believe we have someone in call that is very happy right now.
We do. EV Angel, how's it going?
It's going well. How are you?
Let me ask you a question. How did it feel the last 4 minutes of that game, just sitting back, having some popcorn, and watching your deck play by itself?
It was the first time I've ever seen it at that extreme, which is saying a lot.
It was our first time too, for the record.
It was fun. I was mainly just trying to keep up with what cards were being played.
So let's talk about this, right? Because again, we had some information that you were actually you weren't like trying out like the Hearthstone team for the initial season or whatever, what was going on, right? That you just kind of got pulled into it due to you having an MTG background. Can you tell us a little bit about like going from not even like planning on playing in this to, you know, winning the entire thing, like the process behind that?
So like the process of how I got on the Hearthstone team?
Yeah, and how like you took that and pulled that into a tournament win.
So before joining the Hearthstone team, I only really had like some light history with some Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments, but I've never really done anything super serious. But somebody from my major who lives in the same dorm as me was saying that they needed an extra member for the Hearthstone team. And I figured that if they didn't find anybody, I could join to fill in that slot so that they would be able to play. And then it's kind of just been me sitting in on their practices, trying to learn the game for myself, since I only really started in when the school year started. And it's mainly just been me trying to figure out how Hearthstone works and what the kind of playstyle I want in Hearthstone to be. Because my history with Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! Usually has me playing, like with Magic, I would play token decks revolving around like elves. And for Yu-Gi-Oh! I liked Fortune Witches.
I have played Magic, so I have a reference frame for that. I do not have a reference frame for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck that you were referencing, but again, some good old green token decks in Magic have never hurt anybody.
No, the green token decks in Magic hurt a bunch of people with it. That's the whole point.
I mean, I only really play like RDW and Simic Flash, so I'm literally the worst Magic player in the world. But
Evie,
you're disgust on your face. Yeah,
going into that last one there, with Mage against the Demon Hunter. How are you feeling going into that one? Or Warlock, not Demon Hunter. Mage going into Warlock. How are you feeling about that one?
I was caught a little off guard by the Warlock because I had just been expecting them to run it back with Rush Warrior. Since I had been anticipating the Warrior and I couldn't really get a good look at or I'm not super used to the profiles. I had kept my hand as if I was going into Warrior, so when I realized that it wasn't Warrior, I was panicking a bit, and you might have been able to see that in the way I was playing.
I couldn't tell.
It was mainly just me trying to figure out what my win condition was, especially after he milled my first Solarian.
So once you figured out your win condition was 5 primes on the board, it was all smooth sailing from there, right?
Letting Solarian take the wheel was an interesting win condition. This is the most extreme I've ever seen Solarian go, because I've gotten like potions of illusion off Solarian before, and I've had like 4 Solarians at once, but I've never had 5, and I've never had them in this particular style, since usually they just stay in hand.
Yeah, because the game is normally over after you play 1 or 2 in either fashion. Either you're dead or you killed your opponent, right? So like, again, obviously, again, you ended up gaining mana through an interaction I didn't even know existed. So apparently, fatigue cards, they count as spells. With refreshing spring water. That's something that I just learned now. So technically speaking, when you started out that, you wouldn't have been able to play out the rest of the Solarians, right? And then you just draw into fatigue, and somehow that gives you mana, and then everything is right in the world, apparently.
Yeah, I had no idea what gave me mana there, because at that point, things were going too quickly for me to really tell.
You didn't know, but you weren't asking questions.
Right. You take it, right? You just say, you know what? Okay, the game wanted me to win. I take that, right? And that's the essence of Hearthstone in a lot of sense, right? Where it's like, a lot of the games will kind of be determined with factors outside of your control in either fashion. But again, if you're able to tip the games that aren't, that's when you like develop into a better player and you're able to really boost your win rates.
Evie Angel, I would like to say one final time, congratulations on the huge win, the championship win. Jacob Van Ryn cannot be here right now. He wanted to be here to show off the trophy that he's going to be sending you. He's also going to be sending you the t-shirt, the headset, and his heartfelt congratulations. So I want to stand in for Jacob and say all of that. Congratulations, Emergence Division champion, coming out of nowhere. Asked to join the team to help him out, coming out of nowhere. Now the Emergence champion. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm especially excited since Coach said this would be the first time our school has won an esports championship, which means I got to make JWU history as well as winning the NECC championship bracket.
Well, when the trophy gets there, hoist it up with pride. I think we're going to be going to a quick break here. When we come back, the second Hearthstone match of the night. Don't go anywhere. It's got to be a good one.
I'll just say quick, because I am done for tonight. So I just want to say a quick thank you to everyone who's tuned in to watching the entire tournament for, the entire season. It's been a pleasure to cast that, and obviously stick around and continue to watch some great Hearthstone. Again, congratulations, Evie Angel, and let's throw that to the break.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch it.